Okay, so you've posed naked on a lot of icebergs.
I have posed on many an iceberg.
And you've even taught photography workshops in Iceland and become known for these like daring iceberg shots. You said that the first Iceland trip was pretty rough. What drives you to commit such extreme shoots, and why did you go back and do it 7 more times?
It is amazing that I went 7 more times, because my very first time I went with my partner, who's an amazing photographer, her name is Corwin Prescott, who I was teaching the workshops with. And we went first as a scouting trip, of course, because we wouldn't go without knowing the place.
Yeah.
And I had poison ivy all over half of my body.
No.
Half of my entire body was covered in poison ivy.
Did you get it in Iceland?
No, I had done a photo shoot in upstate New York about 3 or 4 days prior to us leaving, and I had it all over my face, this side of my body, my arm, my leg. It was horrible. So I had intense poison ivy, and we get there, and I don't know if you've ever been to Iceland.
Mm-mm.
Almost all of the flights from the US land at like 7 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And so you just have to stay awake long enough so that you don't get completely fucked with jet lag.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm tired. I'm covered in poison ivy. And we decided to...
When did the poison ivy start to manifest itself?
Immediately.
I know it takes... Because my husband is poison ivy. I know poison ivy and poison oak they're different.
They are different. They are similar. My skin will react. It actually might have been poison oak. I can't actually remember now. This was quite a few years ago. But they will react very similarly. Mm-hmm. And this was on the East Coast. And my skin is intensely sensitive to it. And I think it was made worse because I shot in upstate New York, and I think my clothes had been sitting on some of the stuff, and I didn't realize, and the oil got onto my clothes. Yeah. And then I put my clothes on, got dressed, and then I drove back to Philly, where I was living at the time, and I hadn't changed or showered or anything, so that oil was just sitting on my skin. And it started with an itch right here on my torso. And I was like, oh, I must have gotten a bug bite or something. And then it just expanded. This was also, mind you, a day before my birthday. Oh. So on the day of my actual birthday, I got to be covered in calamine lotion in Asbury Park, New Jersey, where we decided to go and visit friends. And I am just dying of itchiness. It is so horrible. And then a few days later, we go to Iceland. And we land in Iceland. We had rented this car called a Skoda.
Are you just at the airport, like, covered in calamine lotion?
Thankfully, there's clear calamine lotion. There is that. So I did not look like I had a horrible disease going into a foreign country. Believe me, this was something that I had worried about. And got in just fine, not a big deal. It was starting to resolve by then. Mm-hmm. I at least had all the things that I needed. Mm-hmm. But when we landed, we rented this vehicle called a Skoda, which I've never heard of before, and it's kind of a hatchback. And we're like, oh, we'll sleep in the car, because we've slept in the car a ton when we've traveled around the U.S., and it's never been a problem. Well, sometimes it's been a problem. Most of the time it hasn't been a problem. But this did not lay perfectly flat when you put the seats back. And so the back of it is literally tilted up like this, and we're attempting to sleep on this tilted thing.
That would go crazy.
And I'm covered in poison ivy. We are not sleeping well at all. And we still got some of the most beautiful photos of my life.
Wow.
Because Iceland is that beautiful. It was completely worth it. We did have to do a decent amount of Photoshop on one side of my body. Thankfully, I just did a lot of posing on this side and tried to minimize showing this side, but it was absolutely worth it. And the fact that I could have all of those things kind of not go right and still want to go back speaks to the magic of the place, which if you haven't seen it, you should really go if you're able to, because there's nowhere else like Iceland.
Yeah,
This is sponsored by Iceland Air.
I know, right? It'll be on my bucket list when I finally get to travel again.
Yeah, do you take vacations? Have you thought about that?
I mean, the problem is with a kid, it's hard to go that far. Like, she's not going to sit on a plane for 4 hours. For 4 hours.
I was like, way more than 4 hours.
Yeah, way more than 4 hours. The longest I've taken her is like 2 hours to Cabo.
Okay, yeah.
But the poison ivy, just quick aside about the poison ivy thing. So this is a straight, so like some people are actually immune to poison ivy?
Yes.
I'm one of those people.
Oh, you're so lucky.
I know, it was crazy.
You're so lucky.
So my husband got it and he had never had it before. And same thing, he thought it was a bug bite and he thought it was fleas. He thought we had fleas.
Oh.
And I remember like coming home, like that, diatomaceous earth?
Yeah.
It's like that white powder. I remember coming home and he had covered the entire house in diatomaceous earth. Like it was all over the couches. It was all over the rugs. It was everywhere. And I was like, it looks like someone had like a crazy cocaine party. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? He's like, we have fleas. I'm like, we don't have fleas. I'm like, look, I don't have anything. And then when it started to get worse, and then we put 2 and 2 together that he had poison oak, and it was pretty brutal.
It's really gnarly.
Yeah.
Do not recommend. I've had it multiple times in my life and I really don't recommend it.
Yeah.